for you to get any health questions answered that you have, and also an opportunity for you to share this. So please share this with everybody in your contact list, because this information that we give on these shows, if you heard the shows before, you know are life-changing. Every show is just packed. In fact, I was thinking the other day how many shows I've done between shows and podcasts and lectures. I've probably done 2,000-3,000 lectures. And it's exciting because it's a lot of good information, and every show is a little different. So it's kind of cool. So, John, I'm ready to go whenever you are. Okay. Here, let me hide my tea here. Okay, this is out of the way, John. You could just, everything good? We're good. Okay, good. Ready? Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Glad to be with me today. What we're going to talk about today is how to beat sugar cravings. Because so many of you have sugar cravings, I do, and you don't know what to do about them. And so we're going to talk about there are certain things you can do, foods you can eat, actions you can take that work wonders on helping you beat those sugar cravings. Because sugar, I mean, we all have it. We all eat too much of it. Well, most people eat too much of it. The average American eats about 17 teaspoons of sugar a day. That's about triple the maximum amount that you should have. A woman should have about 6 teaspoons a day, man maybe 9 teaspoons a day, maximum. This is processed sugar. And 1 can of soda has 10 teaspoons, sometimes 11 teaspoons, depending on the brand. So you're eating, if you just had 1 can of soda, you've had more sugar than you're supposed to eat in the entire day. So you definitely want to cut back on your sugar content. It's going to be very important for so many reasons. Studies published in Nutrition Research and Practice found individuals with higher sugar intake were more likely to experience negative health outcomes and even increase the risk of death. Now, when we say negative health outcomes, what does that mean? If you have a health condition, obesity, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, high blood pressure, dementia, you're going to have worse outcomes if you're putting the foods in your body to make it worse. I had a patient yesterday, and he came in, and he's got a condition called diffuse idiopathic skeletal hyperostosis. I know that's a big word. But basically, he's got an autoimmune condition, and body is attacking itself. And it's causing the spine to fuse together. Now, long-term dish can be very serious because if it affects the middle back, which is where the problem is, can't breathe. The ribs can't expand and contract. And in my career, I've had 2 patients die from a condition similar to this. And the reason is they came to me and it was already too far gone. And I remember one lady, it was just horrible because her eyes would just light up and she just couldn't inhale. Everything was gasping. And she had led a very inflammatory life. She ate a lot of inflammatory foods like sugar. Now, I'm not saying sugar is going to cause DISH or diffuse idiopathic skeletal hyperostosis. But inflammation aggravates all conditions. And sugar is extremely inflammatory. The problem is we like it. So if you want to curb your sweet tooth naturally, that's what we're going to talk about today. But when you eat sugar, it stimulates a part of your brain that releases endorphins. Now, endorphins are painkillers. They make you feel good, and they give you this rush of energy. And not a rush of energy, but a rush of pleasure, I should say. And so when I have pleasure, what do I want? I want more pleasure. And so sugar is tough because it stimulates that part of the brain, releasing those good chemicals, those pleasure chemicals. And it's easy, it's quick, it's cheap, and it's available. And that's a real tough problem when you have a drug that's easy, quick, cheap, and available. And we laugh about it, right? Oh, I shouldn't eat that second piece of cake. Oh, I know I shouldn't have those cookies, but oh, I'm so bad. I'm just going to have another one. You know, I was really good this week, so I'm going to treat myself. When you start using terms like that, everybody's embarrassed when they eat sugar. Hey, I'm going to have that second plum. Oh, I shouldn't have that second plum. Ha ha ha. I was really good this week. I'm going to treat myself. No, because we know it's wrong and we try to blow it off. But the damage that sugar does is so extensive. Like I said, diabetes, heart disease, systemic inflammation, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, visual issues, high blood pressure, cholesterol, hardening of the arteries, all related to inflammatory conditions, and sugar causes inflammation. I've said in the past, I said, what's the number one cause of death in the United States? Heart disease, diabetes, cancer? It's diet. Diet is the thing that's leading or certainly aggravating all of those conditions. So if you can rein in today's sugar, it's going to be amazing how your life improves. I talk about the 7 deadly sins of nutrition. If you're new to the show, the 7 deadly sins of nutrition are alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. Now, a lot of you are thinking, That's my whole life. That's all I eat is alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. I can't survive without that. That's not true. So years ago, I had a guy who worked with me. His name was Wes. And he said, you said something the other day on one of your shows. This is probably 20 years ago. And I said, what's that? He said, you don't have to do it all at once. He said, I never heard you say that before. I said, oh, I thought it was assumed. He goes, no. Everybody thinks that they have to do it all at once. You don't have to do everything I teach you all at once, but understand you're moving in that direction. That goal is to keep moving. There is no end game to this health. The end game is, well, you finally expire, but I want you to expire the healthiest you can, live as long as you can, as well as you can. I was out the other night with my friends. We went dancing. I hadn't been dancing out in years and years and years. So I was at a bar, a place called Alpharetta, Georgia, and I looked around, people my age, and then one of my friends leaned over and said, look at how unhealthy everybody looks. And I looked around and I realized everybody looked unhealthy. You're right. There wasn't anybody who was my age who looked like they were healthy, like they were out there having fun. People laughing, but everybody had a drink in their hand. Some people, had they just looked weather beaten. And so I thought, that's life, man. Life is getting us. And we don't have to give into that. So let's talk about things you can do to beat the sugar cravings. Now, this is the easiest one. I'm going to start you out with the easiest one. The easiest one is when you have a sugar craving, have something sour. So a real simple fix would be dill pickles. So next time you're craving sugar, I want you to have a dill pickle. My mouth is watering thinking about it. So what happens is it changes the way the body is perceiving its cravings, and it kind of shuts it down. So when you do the opposite, lemons work real well for that too. You can suck on a lemon, have some lemonade without sugar in it, and it cuts that sugar craving almost immediately. Same thing with vinegar. If you're having a sugar craving, have a salad. Have some vinegar. You can even do a shot of vinegar if you wanted to. Now, raw organic apple cider vinegar is going to be your best, but there's many other ones as well. Any of them work, but raw organic apple cider is going to be your healthiest one. Do some vinegar. Watch how that goes away. Now, there's other supplements you can do. Berberine, Gymnema, they also stabilize blood sugar so that you don't crash. Because usually we have that craving, our blood sugar drops. A while ago, a salesperson came into my office and said, she's selling these monitors that you put underneath your arm, and it monitors your blood sugar. And it's a little needle that sticks into your arm, and then you put some basically tape over it. And it's Wi-Fi to your phone, and it monitors your blood sugar. And I said, I'm game. Why not? She gave it to me for free. I didn't care. And it was fun to watch. My blood sugar stayed in range, but every now and then it would spike. Why is my blood sugar spiking? Well, I had a meal. One day I hadn't eaten for about 2 or 3 hours, but I went for a walk. And it was an aggressive walk. And I went for a walk, and I watched my blood sugar spike. Why? My muscles needed sugar. My body produced sugar, gluconeogenesis, and produced sugar to go into my blood system so that my muscles would have sugar to work better. So it's kind of cool to do. But it didn't help me any really because I'm not diabetic and my blood sugar was fine. It stayed within range. But if I can keep your blood sugar in a certain range, you're not going to have those cravings. When the blood sugar drops, your body says, I want something fast acting. And so, I experimented. And I said, okay, my blood sugar's normal. I fasted for about 3 or 4 hours. And then I ate some organic, natural cookies, right? Gluten-free cookies. And boy, within minutes, bam, watch my blood sugar spike. So it really is cool how quickly. Now, years ago when I went to school, I was taught that the only things that get absorbed in your stomach were alcohol and drugs. But that, obviously, the research was wrong. So research in biochemistry and nutrition is always advancing. And where we are now is we've never changed that sugar is bad for you. So vinegar, dill pickles, and then supplements, like I said, Gymnema, berberine. And I get a lot of my diabetic patients on things like vinegar, of course, dill pickles, and then berberine or Gymnema to stabilize the blood sugar. Cinnamon also works very well, too. Ceylon is the best kind of cinnamon, Ceylon, and that helps stabilize blood sugar, too. So if you're going to eat something, have some cinnamon with it, and you'll be amazed that blood sugar doesn't spike and then crash, and then you have the cravings. So what else can we do? If you're just tuning in, folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking today about how to quiet those sugar cravings. Now, a protein bar would work really well. So some nuts, walnuts, almonds, pecans, pistachios, very good for stabilizing that blood sugar as well. Be careful because like nuts are fine, But if you're going to do something like energy bar or protein bar, that oftentimes has sugar in it, and sometimes it has isolated soy protein in it, and that's not good. If you're going to do an energy bar or protein powder, you want to use pea protein. That's it. Not whey, not isolated soy protein. That's it. Okay? So it's very easy to do. Just get one that says organic pea protein. You'll find hemp protein works well also. But just avoid those isolated proteins, because when they isolate it, they change the molecular structure, and it's not good. And the other thing about protein, as I go off on a tangent here, you don't need more protein. I had a guy call one of my shows the other day. He said, Doc, I'm taking GLP-1s. We talked about that last week on the show. If you are taking it, go listen to the show I did last week. Very informative. GLP-1 agonists, those injections you take to lose weight. He says, I'm losing weight. And one of the problems with those medications is you lose 33% of what you lose is going to be muscle mass. He says, so I'm eating about 100 to 200 grams of protein a day to make sure I don't lose muscle mass. Eating protein does not build muscle mass. Putting stress on the muscle builds muscle mass. Lifting weights, resistant exercises, just do squats. One of the things I do, if I start crashing and I'm starting to get a sugar craving, is I'll do 20 squats. Just air squat, just, stand up and squat. That's going to cause my body to release glucose into my blood, curbing that sugar craving, because my muscles now are requiring glucose to run. So like I said, when I was monitoring my blood sugar, I went for a walk, my blood sugar went up. I didn't eat sugar. Where'd it come from? Came internally. So if you're going to eat protein, that's fine, but please stay away from those protein powders, protein bars. A lot of them say protein, it's chocolate and sugar and hydrogenated oils, and it's junk. But if you want to get sugar into your blood quickly, just do some squats. When I get really tired, if I start getting really weak in the middle of the day, I'll just do 10 or 20 squats. And I get this supercharge of energy going on. So it doesn't always have to be chemical to balance your blood sugar and beat the sugar cravings. It can be physical. And any type of weightlifting. But squats are easy because you don't need any equipment. You can do push-ups against the counter. As I get older, I can't do push-ups on the floor. I remember back in high school, I weighed 210 pounds. I was the biggest guy on my football team. And I could bench 200, 250 pounds easily. And I could squat a lot of I can't do that anymore. So just even push-ups against the counter is fine. Just start contracting those muscles. And when you do, the body starts releasing glucose, stabilizes those sugar cravings. It's really kind of cool to do it. It's kind of fun. And you get a bunch of energy too, which is kind of neat. You can also do a cross crawl. Cross crawl is very good because it stimulates your brain, it integrates your brain. And what a cross crawl is, you stand up or you sit down on a bench and you bring your right elbow to your left knee and your left elbow to your right knee. Right elbow to your left knee, left elbow to your right knee. Do that for 20, 30 seconds. You'll be amazed how that releases sugar into the blood, beats those sugar cravings, gives you a lot of energy, and that also integrates the brain. Pretty cool stuff, right? I got so much to cover today. I know I'm talking fast. I got a lot to cover. Another thing you can eat if you have sugar cravings is dried fruit. You can have apricots, peaches, mango, but be very careful because dried fruit is very high in sugar. It has fiber in it and other nutrients, but just have maybe a handful and see how you do. Now, if you're going to do dried fruit, make sure it's organic. Because if it's not organic, chances are it's going to have sulfites in it, and sulfites are linked to cancer. So dried fruit should be ugly. If it's real pretty and soft and nice bright colors, chances are there's sulfites in it. Pineapple, dried fruit, organic, won't have sulfites. It can't. If you're just tuning in, what we're talking about today are ways to beat your sugar cravings. And I'm not even get close to covering what I want to. Maybe I'll just start zipping through it because I got so much to cover. But sugar feeds the brain, feeds the muscles. And I got an email the other day about somebody saying, well, I'm on keto. And I went keto and I'm eating bacon and I'm eating all this meat and eggs and my liver enzymes are normal and I'm doing great. That's okay short term. Well, it's not okay short term. But if you're going to do it, only do it short term. Because long term can cause a lot of damage. A lot of researchers that originally thought that this high protein diet was great now have looked at the long-term studies and said we were wrong. You're increasing the risk. Dementia, cancer, heart disease, muscle wasting. Like I said, eating protein doesn't build muscle. Using muscles builds muscle. And you don't need more protein. You're eating enough from your regular diet. So don't be fooled by these ketogenic diets that say, oh, it's going to cure everything. Short term, it might be okay. Might even lose weight with it. Long term, not a good idea. If you don't know what to eat, go to my website, drjoe.com, and you can type in the search bar, so what can I eat? Again, the website, 24 hours a day, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. And when it comes to health, nutrition is important, but you also have to have the physical component. And that's why I started talking about foods to curb sugar cravings, but I also talked about the physical things you can do. And this is what I believe is missing in healthcare. We don't talk about the physical aspect of keeping the body tuned up. If I do squats, it helps my blood supply better. We know that people with strong legs and strong glute muscles live longer, generally speaking. You feel better, you have better circulation, helps your love life, helps the bowels work better. So I'm not saying you have to go work out. I had Lee Haney on my show the other day. Lee Haney was Mr. Olympia eight times in a row, Mr. Olympia. And he had a 55-inch chest and a 35-inch waist. I mean, monster of a man. Now he looks like me and you. He looks like a regular guy. But he was talking about diet. He says, I ate very little meat. He says, I ate a little bit of chicken, a little bit of fish. Everything else was vegetables and plants and fruits and nuts. So you don't need more protein. You need to put stress on the muscles. So the physical aspect of health is, I think, what's missing in our healthcare system. And that goes for pain as well. If you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches, chances are you have a pinched nerve. And the number one treatment for pinched nerve, most effective, least expensive treatment for pinched nerves, chiropractic care. Now, we're seeing a trend in healthcare going in this direction at a very fast pace, which excites me. I've been in practice 40 years. And so when I first got in practice, chiropractors were the redheaded stepchildren. Nobody talked to them. They were the quacks. They were the bone crackers. Now, I get 5 or 6 questions, referrals a day. Orthopedists, neurologists, neurosurgeons, psychiatrists, psychologists. Many times just call me up and say, hey, Joe, I got this patient. I don't know what to do with them. I'm stuck. I'm the only chiropractor in the state board certified in pain management. So when I meet with the other pain management docs, they get lost. I can't tell you how many pain management docs, refer as patients, of course, but refer their family or they come in as patients. Because we're realizing that you need to have an integration of healthcare. I don't do surgery. I don't do injections. I don't do pelvic exams. I don't do eye exams. But I'm really good at getting the body healthy. So if you have a health issue, if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, digestive issues, brain function issues, nutrition concerns, make an appointment to come see us. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. I want to be your doctor. So go to my website, drjoe.com, book an appointment. Stop suffering needlessly. Biggest complaint I get it every day. Why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't somebody tell me that I can get chiropractic care for my back pain, that you can take my stomach and pull it away from the diaphragm, and that might help my acid reflux? Why didn't somebody tell me that if I take vitamin D3, I need K2 with it? Why didn't my doctor ever even talk about nutrition? It's not their job. It's my job. So if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. We accept almost all insurances. Normally the first visit is $940. I've reduced that for you, my listeners, to $299. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays, and a complete nutrition evaluation. So if you have a health issue, car accident, sports injuries, drjoe.com, stop suffering needlessly. It breaks my heart. For 40 years, every day, my heart is broken when I see people that, had I seen them 15, 20 years ago, their life would have been so much different and so much better. This isn't dress rehearsal, folks. Stop suffering. drjoe.com. Make that commitment. So we're talking today about foods you can eat to help curb your sugar cravings. Chewing a piece of gum can help. Now, here's the problem with gum. I was in the store a couple of months ago, and I was looking for a gum that didn't have artificial sweetener. And I had a real tough time. I think it was Big Red, which has a lot of dyes and chemicals in it. That actually had sugar. But almost all the other gums are sweetened with artificial sweetener. I am not a fan of artificial sweetener. Aspartame can cause headaches. It has a bit of alcohol in it, so it can actually, it's drinking a little bit of alcohol. Sucralose affects your hormone levels. So if you're going to do gum, they do have gum that's sweetened with stevia or Lohan. It's okay. I've had it. This flavor doesn't last very long. But if you're going to chew gum, I recommend a gum that doesn't have artificial sweetener in it or sugar. God, I hate to say this out loud. Don't ever tell anybody I said this. I'd rather see you chew a piece of gum with sugar than with artificial sweetener. So just be careful with your gums. It's a good way to curb the sugar cravings too. And but it can stimulate hunger. Because when you chew, your body says, ooh, food's coming. and it starts to prepare the stomach with digestive enzymes, and then digestive enzymes don't show up. Like, oh, wait a minute, maybe I want to eat. So some people get hungry after chewing gum. This is one you're going to be surprised, I'm going to say. Dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is a great way to beat cravings. The higher the cacao levels, like you want to do 70% or higher, the better off it's going to be. It has antioxidants. It may help lower blood pressure, lower cholesterol, help with heart disease. You want to do 70% cacao or higher, but here's how you do it. The maximum amount I want you to have in a day is about the size of your top joint of your thumb. That's it. Organic dark chocolate, 70% or more, about the size of the top joint of your thumb. Stop. Because if you eat a little bit, you're going to want to eat a lot. But when you have that little bit, because it has other nutrients in it aside from sugar, it can help stabilize that blood sugar and stabilize the the sugar cravings. So just be careful. Don't say, well, Dr. Joe said I can eat all the chocolate I want. No, I didn't say that. What I said was small amounts of organic dark chocolate. And that can help. And it has some nutritional benefits too. More is not better. A little bit good, a lot has negative side effects as well. I personally can't do any caffeine. If I do any caffeine, even a little piece of sugar, I get a headache. A piece of chocolate, I get a headache. So I've got to be careful that something doesn't even have chocolate in it. So if I have a little bit of chocolate, bam, I got a headache. So there's so many other foods you can eat. And this is the thing when it comes to nutrition. Meat is high in protein, and you have to eat meat to get protein. Where do cows get protein from? Eating plants. Well, if you don't eat meat, you're not going to get vitamin B12. If you're a vegan, you're not going to get vitamin B12. That's a true statement. However, you can simply take a supplement. I take Dr. Joe's B complex every day, and that gives me my B12. I'm fine. So there are easy workarounds on everything that's bad for you that you can get. Any benefit it has, you can get the benefits without the negative side effects. So that's the nice part about this. So I can argue anybody on these points because I know the alternatives. Yeah, there are some benefits to eating animal products, but the negatives, I feel, far outweigh the positives. If you're going to eat animal products, meat, butter, cheese, yogurt, eggs, ice cream, I'm going to recommend organic only or don't eat it. Or another rule that you can use whatever rule you want. If your grandmother could have eaten it, you can eat it. So grandma had fresh milk, fresh out of the cow, unpasteurized, unhomogenized, organic. If you want to do that, okay. I choose not to. But if you choose to, at least make better choices. When it comes to nutrition, it's all about better choices. Try to make the best choice possible. Same thing with supplements. Every day people say, well, Dr. Joe, I can get this supplement at a big box store and it's cheaper. You get what you pay for. I had a patient come in the other day, and he brought in all the supplements he's taking. Doc, look at the supplements I'm taking. Look at it. I'm so proud I take all these supplements. And he was taking a cyanocobalamin, which is a B12 with cyanide attached to it. Don't do cyanocobalamin. Do methylcobalamin. I take in folic acid. Folic acid is hard to convert into folate for a lot of people. Use folate. So having a little bit of knowledge, saying supplements are good, yes, they are, but the quality is what's so important. I take vitamin D3. Great. If you don't have K2 with it, you can build up calcium in your heart and your blood vessels. You need vitamin D3 with K2. Vitamin K2 is a synthetic version of D3. I'd rather you take the D3. So there's little innuendos about supplements that people throw out at me. You know, they hear little things, and I want to correct that for you. So I want to be your doctor. So if you want to make an appointment to come see us, drjoe.com. If you like what you're hearing, if you like this type of information, follow me on social media. We post every single day. So it's Dr. Joe Esposito, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Facebook is the Dr. Joe Esposito. Please follow me on social media. It's important because you get these little tips every day and you help build the awareness in the community. If you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. If you're a podcast junkie, go to Dr. Joe for the Health of It on your podcast service. Dr. Joe for the Health of It. And we post at least 2 podcasts a week, sometimes more. And when we do pop-up lectures, when we do events, sometimes we do online classes, you'll get all that information if you follow us on social media. So again, drjoe.com. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right. You have questions, John?
I hardly ever make time for breakfast. Should I continue to skip it or just grab some walnuts and fruit instead?
If you're fine, skip it. That's intermittent fasting. I take Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source and all my other supplements, B12, B complex, vitamin D, men's hormone support, estrogen regulator, omega-3 fatty acids, adrenal support. I take all of those in the morning. I like having breakfast. Now, if you're okay skipping it, I'm perfectly fine with that. Just drink a lot of water and just wait till lunch. 12 hours a day minimum of intermittent fasting is the minimum. But if you can go without breakfast and go to 14, 16 hours, that's great. Just make sure you take your supplements. So, what else?
What are the worst starches that should be avoided?
Processed starches, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, pretzels. Those are the starches that are going to be the worst ones. If you're going to do a starch, in fact, I'll bring that up. I'm glad you brought that up. Resistant starches. Resistant starches. Good. I'll bring that up. Anything processed. I always say if it has a label on it, don't eat it. That's probably a good rule. Now, that's not always true, but if it's a processed label in a package, just don't eat it. That's not what you want to do. It should go bad very quickly. What else?
Should I take lion's mane?
If you want to. I don't think it's necessary, but it does have a lot of health benefits. So I have no problem taking mushroom supplements. I think they're good. Lion's mane can help the brain, do other things as well. So, yeah, if you want to take it, absolutely. Got my blessing on that one.
Is stevia okay for diabetics?
Yes, stevia is fine. Lohan is fine. Xylitol and erythritol might give you a little diarrhea. So just be careful with that. But, yeah, stevia is absolutely fine. I use it every day. And and if you monitor your blood sugar, like I was doing with my little instrument somebody gave me, you're going to notice no spike, and that's great. So, yeah, stevia is good. Do organic, though.
When cooking, I've heard that seed oil should be replaced with beef tallow, butter, or avocado oil. Do you agree?
Part of that, yes. The seed oil should never be used under any situation ever. I wouldn't recommend cooking with tallow or butter because I don't eat animal products. The best oil to cook with is going to be extra virgin organic coconut oil. The best oil to use on things like salad would be extra virgin organic olive oil. Avocado oil is fine too. You can cook with it. So avocado and coconut for cooking, olive for non-cooking or very low temperature. I'm not a fan of tallow or butter. If you are going to do that, I recommend organic only. Because otherwise you're getting steroids, chemicals, hormones, antibiotics, pesticides, genetically modified food fed to the animals. Glyphosate is sprayed on the food they feed to the animals. So if you're going to eat any animal product, including tallow and butter, organic only. What else you got for me, John?
Who started the rumor that margarine was good for you? It's terrible.
The margarine companies. How's that for an answer? Yeah, margarine is absolutely some of the worst stuff in the world. I'll tell you a story. I don't know, 20, 25 years ago, I was doing a lecture in a show. I don't remember what it was. And I talked about how the number one cause of heart disease is hydrogenated oils. It's not even meats and dairy products. It's the processing of the meats and dairy products and cooking them. And so I said, but margarine is way worse than butter. And I predict that it's going to come out because I kind of know the research before it comes out. So a couple of weeks later, actually, there was a show on a report on CNN, and it said margarine is probably the number one cause of heart disease in the United States. So my mother calls me up, and she says, so you hear about the story on CNN? I said, yeah, I did. And she says, I'm not sure if you're a nut or a prophet. I haven't quite figured that out yet. And I said, probably a little bit of both, Mom. So, but the research is clear. It's not like I'm making any of this up. This is what the research says. If you want to do it, it's your choice. It's a free country. Eat whatever you want. Take whatever you want. Treat yourself however you want. I give you the research that I know is right. This is what I do for myself. If you want to do it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. It's like we do a lot of posting on social media, and there's always going to be some troll who argues with you. And I'll say, great. Don't do it then. That's up to you. I'm just giving you information. 99% of people want the facts. You apparently know more than I do, so you can do whatever you want. So, yes, margarine is terrible. I agree.
My gastroenterologist is recommending a Bravo test. Is that helpful?
I'm not sure why they would want to do that, but I have no problem with tests. Tests are great. What you do with the information from the test is what's important. So if you have the test done and you don't know, and the doctor gives you recommendations and you're not sure that's what you want to do, call me, set up a consultation, and let's go over the test results. I go over test results all day, every day. Blood work and digestive and endoscopes and colonoscopies and MRIs, and I'm happy to go over your test results with you to see what would be alternative options. Sometimes I agree 100% with the doctor. Do it. But many times, healthcare providers don't know there's any other way to do it. They don't know about other options. So I offer the options. What you decide to do is up to you. So what else you got?
That is all.
Beautiful. All right, let's do part 2. Slippery elm tea there. All right, where was I? Good. All right, ready? Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito. If you just joined me, welcome. If you stayed with me, I appreciate that. As always, I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day. If you're new to the show, what we do is we try to give you information on how to naturally get well and stay well. And if you ever listen to any of my shows, we've got probably about 4,000 hours on my website, drjoe.com. The podcast, Dr. Joe for the Health of It, on your podcast service. I don't know how many hours we have there. Lots and lots of information. And my style of teaching is I throw a lot out at you. And something's going to resonate, something isn't. Gosh, well, I didn't ever thought about that for chewing gum. That might help. Well, that's something I might want to consider. Oh, I didn't think about dried fruit. I didn't know it had to be organic. I didn't know about that. I learned about fiber. So I throw a lot out at you, and you kind of pick and choose what you want to do. I'd love to have you do everything. But if you do something, that's better than nothing. At least do 80% of what I suggest. 20% I'll let you cheat. And here's what's going to happen, because I've done this for 40 years now. What's going to happen is after you start doing what I say, you're going to start seeing results. And you're going to say, wait a minute, I like this. I want more of this. And then you're going to go from 20% cheating, 19%, 15% cheating. And eventually you'll come around and go, how did I ever live that lifestyle? I was sick all the time. It was expensive. I had bloating, gas, diarrhea, bad breath. I was fat. My brain wasn't working. I didn't sleep well. My love life was suffering. And now suddenly I'm getting better. And I'm saving money. So that's what happens all the time if you do it. Most people do. Some people know better than I do, and that's okay. You can go in that direction if you want to. So we're talking today about craving your sugar cravings, how to beat the sugar cravings. Now, if you absolutely positively losing your mind and you have to have a pastry, a donut, at least do something like a banana bread, a pumpkin bread, a zucchini bread. Now, yes, they have a little bit of fiber in it, not that big a deal. But they're relatively easy to make. They don't have a lot of preservatives in them. And they do have the nutrients from the fruit or the vegetables in it, which helps you process the sugar a little better. Now, there are sugar alternatives that you can buy for baking. And usually it's made with stevia. And it's usually cup for cup, exactly xylitol. I've seen it cup for cup what you'd use for sugar. Now, does it taste as good as sugar? It doesn't. I'm not going to lie to you. It doesn't taste as good as sugar. But it kind of solves that craving. A little something to kind of get you through the night. And when you start doing stevia, you start doing Lohan, xylitol, you're not going to be able to eat a lot of sugar anymore. It's going to be way too sweet. So we have to retrain your brain. Your brain loves sugar because it gets high from it. It reduces endorphins and dopamine, and you get high from it, and you feel great. So no wonder you want to eat more sugar. Like I said earlier, it's the quickest, easiest, least expensive, most available drug there is. Why wouldn't I want to use it? Oh, I know I'm feeling so bad. I'm just going to have a cookie today. Drives me nuts. And side note, as you know, I do a lot of. I remember a while ago, I saw a fundraiser for cancer research. What was the fundraiser? Bake sale. Drop the mic, walk away. Lost my mind. Sugar feeds cancer, plus the hydrogenated oils, plus the chemicals, plus the dyes, plus the additives, plus the fat in the can that they use as the frostings. And I thought, what do you do? You're raising money for cancer by selling things that cause cancer, or promote cancer, I should say. Horrible. So I digress. So if you have to use something like that, use the stevia blend, make a banana bread, make a zucchini bread or a pumpkin bread. Use gluten-free flour, because if you use a non-gluten-free flour, if it's not organic, chances are it has pesticides in it called glyphosate. So use a gluten-free flour. A, you're not going to eat as much because it doesn't taste as good. B, it's going to solve the cravings, and it's going to get you over, get you through the night. So that's a neat little trick you can do if you have to do it. Not the best choice, but I'll give you everything. And, of course, fresh fruit's great, because when you eat things like fresh fruit, it has fiber in it. And if you listen to the show I did last week, I talked about the GLP-1 agonists, these medications that you inject to help you lose weight. Now, what a GLP-1 agonist is your body produces a hormone or a peptide called GLP-1. And GLP-1 is produced goes into your blood system. It attaches to your liver, digestive system, your brain, and it slows down your digestive system so the food passes slower so you don't get as hungry. It causes your pancreas to release insulin, and insulin takes the sugar out of the blood. It slows down your internal production of glucose by a chemical called glucagon, which glucagon is released and creates glucose in your body. It's a process called gluconeogenesis. And then it goes to your brain and helps curb your hunger. So your body produces GLP-1. So what we've done is we found a chemical version of GLP-1 called the GLP-1 agonist. And it's a chemical that goes into your body and attaches to all the places that GLP-1 goes to. And it does all that. Slows down your digestive system, curbs your hunger, slows down your production of glucose. Works great. If your goal is to lose weight, works great. However, the side effects of the GLP-1 agonist are lengthy. I had a patient 2 weeks ago, come in, and he's a little chubby, and he says, my doctor put me on a GLP-1 agonist. He used the brand name. He says, and my bowels shut down. So it didn't slow down his bowels, it shut down his bowels. He says, Doc, I could hardly go to the bathroom at all. Doctor says, come off this immediately. And so he came off it, and he said, so what can I do to help lose weight? So you can produce your own GLP-1 by eating high-fiber foods. Beans, legumes, quinoa, fruits, vegetables, nuts. Because what happens is your body produces GLP-1 in the far part of your small intestine. And in that far part of the small intestine, it's called the ileal brake. Your body produces GLP-1 by something called L cells. L cells are produced by GLP-1 when food works its way all the way down to that area. And then the bacteria break it down and produces something called butyrate. Butyrate is a short-chain fatty acid, and it stimulates the L cells to produce GLP-1. So bottom line is this. If you're eating a high-fiber diet, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, a lot of natural foods, you're going to eat a lot less. Because most of the typical American diet, alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener, breads, cookies, cakes, donuts, pastas, are broken down in the upper part of the small intestine. So they don't really make it, the nutrients don't make it all the way down to the lower small intestine, so it never activates the GLP-1 cells. It activates it very little. So if we're eating food, like if I chew a nut, for example, I never break it down all the way. So little pieces of that nut works its way all the way down into my small intestine. The bacteria start to break it down, release the fat, butyrate's produced, stimulates the L cells, and I produce GLP-1. A lot of chemistry right there, wasn't it? But the bottom line is the closer you eat food to nature, the slower it's going to digest and the better off you're going to be. So that's why I do recommend eating like a salad every day. Now, if I eat just a salad, I'm hungry. That's not enough for me. But I can add sesame seeds to it. I can add sunflower seeds to it. I can add pumpkin seeds to it. I can add chickpeas or beans to it, quinoa to it. Now I've got a whole meal, very low in calorie, very high in nutrients, really good for me, and the fiber is going to make its way all the way down to the GLP-1 cells, the L cells, and I'm going to feel full for a lot longer. So the only way to activate the GLP-1 cells is to eat very healthy food. And by eating healthy food, you give the body the nutrients so you're not as hungry anyway. So you're giving a double whammy. When you're hungry, you're not hungry for food, you're hungry for nutrition. So I'm going to give you high quantity and quality nutrition. It's going to work its way down to the L cells to release the GLP-1, which is going to slow down your digestive system, make you feel full. There's no downside to this, is there? The only upside to eating the standard American diet is that it tastes good. And I don't question that, and I don't think you question that either. When I drive by a barbecue place, I like the smell. It's been almost 40 years since I've had any animal products, and I smell it and I go, that smells good. And what we're smelling are polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, the meat dripping down onto the coal in the fire and releasing that delicious smell, and those are carcinogenic. But they still smell good. That doesn't mean I have to eat it. I can look at a car and say, that's a really nice car. I don't steal it. I can go to an art gallery and say, that's a pretty piece of art. I don't take it home with me. So you can say, hey, food looks good. Food smells good. Don't recommend eating it. Had another patient the other day. He says, Doc, I eat really healthy. I eat only kosher hot dogs. Doesn't mean they're good for you because they're kosher. And I can't tell you what we joke about what hot dogs are made out of. But hot dogs are some of the worst foods you can eat. Stimulating cancer, what's called the mTOR pathway in your colon, which stimulates cancer cell growth. The nitrates, which would convert into nitrosamines, which are carcinogens. There's so many toxic chemicals, and he's thinking because it's kosher, it's good for him. I said, what was his name? Marshall. I said, Marshall, I hate to break the news to you, man. That's not a good choice. So there's a lot of, if you don't know what to eat, by the way, go to my website, drjoe.com, and just type in the search bar, so what can I eat? Those words, so what can I eat? I'll give you a whole 45 minutes of what to eat. Very simple, very easy. And by the way, the website is over 4,000 hours of content, and you can go there, and you don't have to log in. You don't have to pay anything. Type in the search bar what you're looking for, and chances are we've done a show on it. We've done a blog on it. And if you still have questions about anything, send me your questions through the website, drjoe.com. I answer probably 10, 20, 30 questions a day through the website and through my emails because I want to be your doctor. I really want to help you get to the cause of the problem and not just treat the symptoms. So drjoe.com, an amazing source of information, but you can also book an appointment. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge. The cost for an initial visit with us is normally $940. I've reduced that to $299. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays, and a complete nutrition evaluation. The x-rays alone are going to cost more than that anywhere else. The nutrition consultation alone is going to cost more than that. Now, why do I do that? We do that because we want to find out what's going to be the best route of treatment for you. Is it chiropractic? Is it orthopedist, neurologist, neurosurgeon, psychiatrist, general practitioner? I don't know. Let's find out what's going to be the best course of treatment. Let me be the captain of your healthcare ship. I want to drive you through this whole healthcare maze and figure it out. I'm confused in healthcare. I can't imagine that you're not. There's so many different options, so many different insurances. And insurance, oh, don't get me started on insurance. What a joke that is. But don't let insurance dictate your health care. I've had patients say, well, Dr. Joe, I have a, $50 deductible, $10 deductible, $300 deductible, $3,000 deductible, $20 copay. Yeah, and what are you going to do if you don't get treated? Well, I don't know. So you're going to suffer, be miserable, not be able to work, not be able to enjoy your love life, your family, your friends, your church, your kids? Folks, you got to invest sometime, a little bit. Chiropractic is the most effective, least expensive treatment for back pain. Most effective, least expensive. Why wouldn't you do it? There's no better way to do it in most cases when it comes to back pain. So go to my website, drjoe.com. You can book an appointment. If you have any questions, send me questions through the website, drjoe.com. I want to be your doctor. And we can always do remote consultations as well. I do that a lot for seniors that can't get out of the house, people out of state. Happy to work with you. And if I don't have an office near you, let me know, and I'll try to find a clinic near you with somebody who might be qualified. I'm not very good at that because I don't know a lot of people who do what we do. There's not a lot that do, by the way. So other things you can do. We talked about the fresh fruit, releasing the fiber, breaks the food down to the L cells. You can do yogurt, but I don't recommend you do dairy yogurt because dairy is the number one food allergen. Another patient last week got pulled in. One of my doctors was seeing her. She said, Dr. Joe, go talk to this patient. And she says, I wake up every morning and my mouth is so dry it's like sandpaper. I said, so you're not breathing through your nose? She goes, oh, no, my nose is constantly clogged up. I said, I want you to give up wheat and dairy products. She goes, I did that in the past. I said, how'd it do? She goes, oh, I did great. I was able to breathe. My sinuses cleared up. I said, so what happened? She goes, well, I like wheat and dairy products. I said, do you like wheat and dairy products? You like not sleeping? Good point. So I said, give up your wheat and your dairy, give it 2 weeks, come back to me, let me know how you do. So if she's done it in the past and it worked, why wouldn't you want to do it again? So the nice part about yogurt is there's different types of yogurt. There's soy yogurt, there's coconut yogurt, there's almond yogurt. They have Greek yogurt. Silk is a brand I know that works real well. I like Sprouts. The grocery store Sprouts has a really good plant-based yogurt. I think it's the best one out there. I have no affiliation with the company Sprouts. I just know they have good products. They also have the best olive oil. Their can of olive oil, their organic olive oil, is good product because I've tested it. And the way I test it is I take olive oil, I put it in a refrigerator. If it gets cloudy, it's a good quality organic olive oil. If it doesn't get cloudy, it's cut with things like soybean oil. So they got great olive oil. They've got good yogurts, plant-based yogurts. So I'm going to help you find the right products because I eat just like you do, folks. I have 3 meals a day, sometimes 2. I go out to restaurants. I have family. I have friends. I'm a single guy. I go on dates. So I'm trying to find out what's going to be the best, and I'm happy to share that information with you. So just be careful about your yogurts. If you're going to do yogurt, it's very filling, but do the unsweetened kind. If you want to sweeten it, you can sweeten it with some berries, something along those lines, some nuts if you want to. Trail mix, that hippie stuff, trail mix, granola. Trail mix can be good, and sometimes it even has organic dark chocolate in it. I'm okay with that, but you only want to do about a handful or two. If you're doing a lot of trail mix, very high in calories, very high in fat. And we talked about nuts earlier. Don't eat peanuts. Peanuts are high in omega-6 fatty acids. Omega-6 fatty acids cause inflammation. Omega-6 fatty acids can, any disease you have can make it worse. Peanuts are high in a fungus called a mycotoxin, and that can cause an allergic reaction. And peanuts are high in arginine. In fact, I ran a social media post the other day about how Dr. Joe's nitric oxide support. Nitric oxide, we use citrulline. Citrulline converts into nitric oxide, opens up your blood vessels. It's amazing. Brain function, sexual function, lowering blood pressure, more energy, sleeping better, bowel function. Because as we get older, our nitric oxide levels drop. And so I take a nitric oxide supplement every single day. You should too. Unless you have low blood pressure, then email me and I'll tell you what to do. And this person said, yeah, well, you can do arginine as well, and that works just as well, and you're an idiot. And I said, okay, yes, arginine does convert into nitric oxide. You're right. And arginine is high in peanuts. So you think peanuts would be good for circulation. The problem is arginine can cause an outbreak of herpes virus. If you have herpes virus in your body, and just about everybody has one kind or another, it can cause outbreaks. So I use citrulline, same effect, no downside. So maybe I'm pretty smart. I don't know. But I don't recommend peanuts, and especially if you have cold sores, genital herpes, oral herpes, shingles, peanuts can cause outbreaks. So please stay away from peanuts. All the other nuts are fine. Walnuts, almonds, pecans, pistachios, macadamia. If I had to pick the granddaddy of them all, it would be walnuts. So if you want to have a handful of walnuts when you have a sugar craving, that's great. Make you feel full, help curb the craving, but don't have 5 handfuls of walnuts because they're very fattening. Same thing with avocados. I love avocados. If I eat one, I'm okay. If I eat more than one, I gain weight, like almost instantly. It's like I'm gaining weight, it seems. So avocados are great, very high in fat, though. So when people want to gain weight, I tell them to eat nuts and avocados. If you want to lose weight, a handful of nuts, half an avocado a day, that's about it. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking about ways to curb sugar cravings. And sugar can cause inflammation, and as a pain management specialist, I want to get you on the best diet to reduce inflammation and reduce pain. And sugar increases your pain, whether it's a headache, neck pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, digestive pain, menstrual cramps. Sugar's going to make it worse. And so I want you off the sugar for multiple reasons, including the fact that it causes pain. And we said chiropractic care is the most effective, least expensive treatment for back pain. But if you're doing a bad diet, you're eating omega-6 fatty acids, margarine, sugars, alcohol, dairy products, you're not going to get the best results. When a patient comes in our office, I have one goal: get you the best results for the least amount of money as quickly as possible. That's a unique style, I know, in healthcare. Most people don't think that way. But I really want to get to the cause of your healthcare problems. And sugar many times is an issue. And we talked about chocolate earlier. If you want to do chocolate-covered fruit, just do organic dark chocolate and have one piece. Again, it's a little extreme to go through all that work, but, if you want to do it, you can do it. Berries are great. I have frozen berries in my freezer, and many times I'll just whip it up with my Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. Oh, by the way, the minimum supplements you should be taking every day: Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, because they're loaded with fruits and vegetables. Thylakoids are chemicals that curb your appetite. And they have prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, iodine. Most of us are deficient in iodine. Helps the thyroid work, increases your metabolism. So the minimum supplements you should be taking every day would be Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. They're 2 powders. They taste great. I throw them in I put it in a jar, shake it up with my omega-3 fat, my vitamin D, with K2, and I shake it up and I drink it first thing in the morning. Coconut milk, almond milk, not dairy. Not a fan of dairy. And then if I want to get crazy, I'll throw in some frozen berries and whip it up, maybe half a frozen banana, make it a smoothie. But if you're not willing to do anything else for your health, nothing else, at least do Super Greens, Essential Source, B Complex, and vitamin D. If you're willing to do everything for your health, at least do Super Greens, Essential Source, B Complex, and vitamin D. That's the core. And you can throw some berries in there to load it with nutrients, antioxidants, fiber. I try to do organic because berries are what we call part of the dirty dozen. They're sprayed with a lot of chemicals, and the chemicals get in those little bumps like in the raspberry and the strawberry. So frozen organic berries are really cheap. And I just take them, throw them in a blender, whip it up with Super Greens and Essential Source. Amazing, the results. Oh, by the way, the supplements are on my website, drjoe.com, in the store section. We'll ship the same day or the same business day when you order usually, or the next day. If you want to come by our offices, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, and Stockbridge in the Atlanta area. You'll save the shipping costs. And if you have any questions about what I think you should be taking, just send me your specific question through the website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. If you want to get crazy, throw some chia seeds in with your Super Greens and Essential Source. And the chia seeds swell up in your colon, make you feel full, and work their way through the colon. Now, chia seeds, flax seeds, I do recommend you grind them first. Put them in a coffee grinder or like a magic bullet, grind it up, mix it in with your Super Greens and Essential Source. That's going to really make you feel full. I can't tell you how many patients have told me, Dr. Joe, I can't afford not to take your supplements. And at first, I didn't understand what they were saying. They say, I eat so much less food. When I take the Super Greens and Essential Source, I'm not hungry. Because remember, when you're hungry, you're not hungry for food, you're hungry for nutrition. Throw some chia seeds or some flax seeds ground up. It's going to slowly work its way through your colon, down into the lower part of the small intestine, activating the L cells, releasing your natural GLP-1s, which is also going to make you feel full. Chemistry, biochemistry is just great. I just love it. Lentils, we talked about lentils, split peas, beans, very filling, very high in fiber. They work their way down into the ileum to release the GLP-1, loaded with nutrients. They really make you feel full, and they help crave those sugar cravings because you're going to get the rush of nutrients that your body needs and energy that you need, but it's going to be released slowly. You're going to get a quick rush and then a nice slow release, and so that's why I love lentil, split peas, beans. I make soup almost every week. Sometimes it's mixed beans, sometimes it's lentils, sometimes it's split pea. And a little trick for you to do, if you soak the beans or the lentils overnight, and then rinse it about 2 or 3 times the next day, it's going to reduce the amount of gas production dramatically. I take Dr. Joe's digestive enzymes every time I eat a cooked meal, especially if I eat something like soup that has lentils or split peas in it, because it helps my body digest it more efficiently, not only to reduce the gas, but to break down the proteins into amino acids so my body can use it more efficiently. So really cheap, really healthy. I've got one pot, I think it is, a pressure cooker. You can do it in a crock pot or on the stove. But I can make soup in an hour. Carrots, onions, celery. I put in some vegetarian, vegan bouillon cubes, water, split peas, lentils, whatever it is. Put the top on. An hour later, I got soup. So you can do that. And then if you take it, put it in the refrigerator overnight, you create something called a resistant starch. You absorb about 40% less carbohydrates when you make a resistant starch. So if you're going to eat potatoes, best potatoes are sweet potatoes and purple potatoes. But any potato, rice, pasta, if you're going to do that, remember that could be part of your 20% cheat. Cook it, put it in the refrigerator overnight, eat it the next day, you absorb 40% less calories. It's called a resistant starch. Pretty cool. And a resistant starch actually feed the bacteria in your colon to help create the butyrate, which can release the GLP-1. So another good reason to do it. Gosh, I got more to cover. I'm almost out of time. Folks, if you have any questions, send it to me through my website, drjoe.com. If you enjoyed the show, please share this with all your friends. If you follow me on social media, we post every single day. Share that with your list of people. It's 1-minute posts. Hit share. That's all I ask you to do. But on social media, it's Dr. Joe Esposito. Facebook is the Dr. Joe Esposito. If you like the long version of things, we have that on YouTube. Follow me if you're a podcast junkie. Listen to this instead of junk. Dr. Joe for the health of it. Dr. Joe for the health of it. The podcasts are great. It's this, basically. But if you have any questions, and we all do, or you want to make an appointment, or you want to order the supplements, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. Folks, thanks for tuning in. Please tell your friends about this, and we'll catch you next time. I have more to cover. Sorry. We need more time. You have questions?
How do you feel about Ozempic and Mounjaro?
Didn't you just hear my show? I just talked about that. Those are GLP-1 agonists. I don't use brand names on my show. But the GLP-1 agonists have a lot of side effects, like we just talked about. They slow down your digestive system. They can cause diarrhea, bloating, in severe cases, vision issues, pancreatitis. So if you're going to take them, listen. First of all, just go to my website, drjoe.com, and listen to the show we did last week, because that was an hour's worth of GLP-1s. If you're going to do it, please, I'm on my knees begging you, take Super Greens Essential Source, B Complex, D3. Send me an email, send you a list of supplements I recommend. You are going to lose about 33% of the weight. 33% of the weight that you lose is going to be your muscle. You're going to lose muscle mass. Now, I don't know about you, but at my age, I have a tough time just maintaining my muscle. And I lift and squat and do workouts every day, and I have trouble maintaining my muscle. If you're willing to sacrifice 33% of your weight, of the weight you lose as muscle, you're probably not going to build it back. And remember, your heart, your sex organs, your colon, your blood vessels, those are all muscles too. So if you're okay with that, at least take the supplements and understand. They call it Ozempic butt. Your butt just droops because you lose the muscle mass in your butt. You get the Ozempic face all sunken in and swollen. I wouldn't do it. But if you're going to do it, because 1 in 6 people are taking them now, from what I understand, I'm going to strongly advise that you listen to the show we did last week. And on the show we did last week, we talk about how to stimulate your own GLP-1s. But the best way to lose weight is go to my website, drjoe.com. Type in the search bar, weight loss. Listen to the show we did on weight loss. Start the 21-day detox program. Just go to my website and type 21-day in the search bar. And it's 21 days of supplements, nutrients, certain foods, high-fiber foods that stimulate the own GLP-1. And do what I say on the 21-day cleanse for 21 days. You're going to save money, by the way. It's cheaper to do the 21 days than it is to buy food for 21 days. And that'll kind of jumpstart the whole process. And then you have to stick with a good diet. Most people that take the GLP-1 agonists gain the weight back. And they gained the weight back, but they still lost 33% of muscle mass. So that's your call. I would suggest you don't do it, but if you do it, at least follow some guidelines. What else?
Should I avoid meals of all fruit since there is no protein to balance out all the sugar?
No, there is protein. Of course there's protein in fruit. Look at gorillas who eat nothing but fruit. Look at the size of them. So that's not true. There's plenty of protein in fruit. And you don't need more protein. If you want to go, and by the way, the fiber in the fruit slowly pushes the sugar through the colon and gives you a slow release of nutrients, and the phytonutrients also counteract the bad effects of the fructose. So, no, fruit's fine. You're not going to gain weight on fruit, and fruit is okay by itself. Fruit juice, not a good idea. Fruit is, and fruit does have protein in it, by the way. You don't need a lot of protein. You just need to eat the right amount for you to use that's easy to digest. Animal protein tears up your kidneys. Plant protein doesn't. So if you're eating plant protein, it's more effective and more efficient than animal protein, so you don't need as much either. I haven't had an animal product in 40 years. I'm in my 7th decade of life. I run circles around the 20-year-olds. People ask me all the time, Dr. Joe, how do you do a show for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and with very little notes? Because my brain works really well. So if I was protein deficient, I probably look a lot worse than I do. So I don't look good, but I don't look bad. What else?
Should I add Essential Source and Super Greens to my pancake mix?
You can if you want to. Sure, absolutely. People do it all sorts of ways. Whatever works best for you. You know, there's a song by Oleta Adams back in the late 70s, I think it was. No, late 80s, I guess it was. And the line in the song is, I don't care how you get here, just get here. So I don't care how you get the Super Greens and Essential Source in your body. Just do it. I like shaking up and drinking it. But if you want to put it in pancake mix, great. Some people mix it in plant-based yogurt. Great. Mix it with steel-cut oatmeal. Great. Just get it in your body. I don't care how you get here. Just get here. What else?
What are your healthiest lunch ideas?
Salad. Absolutely. I have a salad almost every day for lunch. And I'll add some nuts to it, some walnuts, pecans, pistachios, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, chickpeas. So a salad with raw organic apple cider vinegar and extra virgin organic olive oil, little salt, little pepper, air-dried sea salt, pepper. Maybe I'll add garlic to it if I'm not going to be close to anybody because I get really bad breath when I eat garlic. I love that. And I don't crash at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I keep going. So salad is going to be your best choice. You want to add some proteins to it, like, to call it proteins, nuts or seeds or beans. That's great. And you're going to save a lot of money too.
That is all.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Please follow me on social media, Dr. Joe Esposito, Facebook, the Dr. Joe Esposito. And where you're going to send your questions, drjoe.com. And hopefully I'll see all of you as patients. If not, send me your questions. I'll answer them.